A beggar warned him not to build this house. What happened next saved his life. An old man was building a new house for his son's wedding and gave a bowl of meat to a passing beggar. Unexpectedly, the beggar said, "If this new house is completed, your whole family will be in grave danger." The old man hurriedly asked what was going on, and the reason was shocking. The old man, suppressing his anger, offered the beggar a cigarette and asked, "Brother, we have no past grudges or recent conflicts. I'm just being kind by giving you a meal." "What do you mean by that?" The beggar glanced at Zhang, the worker, and sneered. "Your skills are only half-baked. You only know the house should face south, but you don't know the ground beneath your feet is a cursed sight." The beggar didn't keep them in suspense, pointing to the freshly piled soil in the foundation pit and giving 3 reasons. These 3 points turned everyone's anger into cold sweat. First, the foundation's location was inauspicious. This might sound like superstition, but it wasn't. The beggar pointed to the dried-up ditch at the west end of the village and said, "This used to be a riverbed. Although it's dry now, the money flowing underground is still there." Uncle Lee's house was situated right at the mouth of the riverbed. The beggar picked up a piece of soil from the foundation pit, squeezed it, and found it to be wet, black soil with a fishy smell. He said, "You only cared about the flat terrain, but you didn't dig it up. Look, 3 meters below is a layer of silt called soft-legged crab. The higher the house is built, the faster the foundation will settle. In less than 3 years, the foundation will sink, the walls will crack, and heavy rain will cause the house to collapse and people to die." Secondly, the materials used were a major taboo. The beggar walked to the pile of timber and said, "Foreign wood is brittle, easily infested with insects, and most afraid of moisture. Your land is already damp, and using this kind of wood for beams will only lead to a long and tiring life. There's an old saying, 'Fish wood for beams, plywood for pillars, foreign wood is only good for coffins.'" While it might be a bit of an exaggeration, in such a humid place, using imported timber for load-bearing would mean that even if the house didn't collapse, the beams would rot within 3 years. Back then, if the roof collapsed in the middle of the night, it would surely kill someone sleeping on the calm, heated brick bed. Thirdly, and most critically, the ventilation openings became highly toxic. The house was designed for warmth, with small windows and the exhaust duct placed against the wind. The beggar said that this place was backed by mountains, and in winter, the wind swirled around it. With the exhaust duct in this location, once the coal stove was lit, the exhaust fumes couldn't escape and would all flow back into the house. Uncle Lee, upon hearing this, broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly ordered someone to get shovels and dig deep down where the beggar had described. Sure enough, after digging less than 2 meters, they found only black, rotten mud at the bottom, even oozing foul-smelling water. When the village's experienced carpenter examined the timber, he slapped his thigh and said, "This wood already has wormholes. It simply can't support the weight." It turned out that this beggar was no ordinary person. In his younger days, He was a renowned craftsman, specializing in building houses for wealthy families. Later, due to the turbulent times and misfortunes that befell his family, he became disheartened and wandered the world. If it weren't for Uncle Lee's bowl of mead, he probably would have already shaken his head and left. Uncle Lee immediately knelt before the beggar. This wasn't a curse. This was clearly a lifesaver. Later, Uncle Lee listened to the beggar's advice, moving the foundation 50 meters east to avoid the underground river. He also replaced the loose timber with sturdy pine and had the chimney redesigned. The new house, once built, was as solid as a fortress. However, the following summer, the original site where the house was planned to be built suffered a small-scale subsidence due to continuous heavy rain. The once flat ground collapsed, creating a large pit filled with muddy water. The villagers looked at the pit, then at Uncle Lee's family, sitting safely in their new house, eating, and trembled with fear. The worst thing for a person is to be told they're in the right place at the right time. Most people, upon hearing something ominous, would react with anger and retaliation. But Uncle Lee managed to suppress his anger and ask, why? This is true character, being able to listen to harsh words and tolerate different opinions. In crucial moments, this can be a lifesaver. Many people today can't tolerate the slightest criticism. They explode at the slightest problem, often straying further down the wrong path. Uncle Lee's new house stood firm for decades, weathering all storms. The beggar never appeared again. Some said he went south. Others said he returned to his hometown to retire. But his words remained, like a nail driven into the hearts of the people of Huaishu. There is no love or hate without a reason. Often, what saves you isn't a divine intervention, but the good character you've cultivated and the humility you display in a critical moment. As the saying goes, even the deepest abyss has a bottom, but the human heart is immeasurable. For every bit of warmth and kindness exposed to the sunlight, there is an equal amount of cruelty and evil lurking in the darkness. This world may seem ordinary, but it's always meticulously planned by the smartest people. Don't raise your child to be too honest. Otherwise, they'll suffer losses easily later in life. You must teach your child to be intelligent in their actions and adaptable in their dealings with others. Those who are both intelligent and flexible are the ones who achieve great things. Therefore, never teach your child to be obedient or hardworking. If I could accompany my child through elementary school again, I wouldn't let them hold their hands during piano lessons, dance classes, or art classes. For children from ordinary families like ours, focus on developing their interpersonal skills. Their future will certainly be bright. To cultivate a child who understands strategy and how to handle situations, parents are recommended to show this comic book version of Heavenly Secrets to their children before they turn 18. Children who read it will be surprisingly intelligent. Simply place it on their desk, and they will pick it up and read it. After reading this book, children will know what to do when falsely accused and when conflicts arise among friends. They will seek help from teachers and resolve them effectively. This series uses comics to teach children principles of conduct and methods to improve emotional intelligence. The knowledge gained from the stories is more than enough for university students. It contains life lessons that children will only understand after experiencing setbacks. Each chapter includes comics and insightful short stories. Let your child read Heavenly Secrets to learn strategy, broaden their perspective, and avoid detours. Don't wait until your child stumbles and falls before showing them Heavenly Secrets in comic book form.